for shoeing.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of JY Throws. Today I'm going to be taking it back to some of the basics. I had a meet this past Thursday and Saturday, and technically I felt like I was moving through the ring all right. It felt like it wasn't way too bad, but looking back at some of the videos and then seeing my practice the last couple days, there's just a couple little things that have started to get away from what I want to be doing. So I want to break down my throw again, go right back to the beginning to stand throws, just working on doing stand throws properly, keeping a good position, because I found my hips shifting a lot, but I'll explain that later on in the video. Anyway, welcome back, and let's get into it. Pro tip for you guys: now that the weather's starting to get really hot, start to get sweaty, hands get sweaty, and if your hands are sweaty, the disc will slip out of your hand. So you can get some chalk. This is just a piece of chalk, but you can buy them in bricks. Prevent the sweatiness. You can put chalk on your hand. It'll just dry your hands out that way. I broke the chalk. But that way your hands are nice and dry, so you get a good grip on the disc, so it's flying nice out of your hand. All right, I'm gonna be starting today with some easy picking. The objective is just to have it come out of my hand nice and flat. Try to keep the disc flying as flat as possible with as little wobble, and I can achieve that by not cocking my wrist or doing anything weird, and then not pulling off and lifting up the disc at all, just keeping it on a nice orbit and just releasing it out of my hand nice. Alright, so by the flight of the disc, it was a little bit up, so which means my hand was a little bit up, so just kind of keep my thumb down is a thought that I like to have sometimes. Thumb down, just nice and through the disc. Better, I think I can still flatten it out a little bit. Anyway, I'm gonna go do probably like 20 30 of these, just nice and easy, working down the field, then coming back. And then I'm gonna start with some stand throws. I'll show you guys what I'm gonna be thinking about in the stand throws today. Alright, as I was mentioning earlier, I've got this problem with hip shifting lately, and I can show you in the ring what I'm talking about by that. Rather than staying back and turning here, I've had this tendency to kind of shift my hips, so I'll be coming from here all the way to like here, so my hips move a good like half meter, so I need to keep it here and turn back, trying to keep everything tallish. I also have been doing a thing where I kind of like drop my upper body weird, so keeping a nice and tall core position and staying back and turning with a solid block rather than shifting into it. That's what I'm working on the stand throw, and I'll show you a drill that I've been working on to fix that up. But broomsticks and any other kind of just straight stick that you can get, but I guess broomsticks are the most convenient, easy to get things. They can show you a lot of things about your different positions. So if you do a drill and you're holding it on your hips, you can see like on your finish, if this is where you finish your throw, your hips don't actually clear through, so you'd want to work on continuing to get that through so your hips are in the throwing direction. And the same way as your hips, you can put it on your back, and same kind of thing. See where your shoulders are, see if you're squared up, and just having this visual representation of the level that your shoulders are on, but extended out and exaggerated, just really helps you see it and helps your coach see it, and just can help point out some good things. So drill that I've been working on is here. I'm trying to work turning and staying back. Sometimes by getting rid of the implement out of your hand and using something like this, it just puts your mind in such a different spot that you start to think more technically, rather than if you were holding a discus or even just doing it with your arms up. You just don't get the same effect as sometimes a simple tool like a broomstick. So that's why I like this. I'm gonna do a few of those. Try to just continue to find that position where I'm getting a nice block and turning through, staying nice and tall, and then I'll move on to the discus. Now moving on to the discus, I've got to have the same thought process. Think about keeping my arm tall, not dropping this down, and then not shifting all my weight. So in order to do that, I need to throw very easy, just to get the habit ingrained in my mind and muscle memory. So I'm going to start by throwing 10, 20 meters, Just nice and easy, nice easy release, and just really trying to think about some of those positions. Alright, so another great way to get a good amount of reps is by throwing your discs back, and as long as you're not with a bunch of people, or at least too many people to be in the way, and you can take the time that you're in the middle of the infield to throw. If it means you're looking out and being careful, watching people throw, and then after they throw, doing one, waiting for the next person to throw, and then you can do that. Just got to be careful, be safe when you're in the field. Obviously, you don't want to get hit by an implement. It can definitely be deadly. So, but a good way to get the reps is by just taking the time to throw it back rather than pick it up and walk it in. So for these, I'm going to do similar to the picking thought process of just trying to get the disc to fly nice and flat and smooth. I'm going to do the same thing, just a bit more of a wind up. Just trying to stay back on this leg. And I'm going to do a couple winds up, just thinking about the path of the discus before I do a release. That one again, the disc started to get a little bit up, so I want to try to flatten it out a bit, which means probably be a little taller with my upper body. Just continue to think about working it through a bit flatter. Okay. That one, the disc flew on an angle sideways. Probably means I was pulling off a bit. So again, just make sure I'm coming through nice and flat and level. So how the disc flies is one of the most important things to tell you what you were doing wrong in your throw. I had a coach in high school that always blew my mind when I was first starting. And I would throw, and the disc would be doing something in the air. And he wouldn't even see my throw, but by looking at how the disc flew, he knew it was wrong. But I didn't know that he was looking at the disc to see that. I thought he was a wizard, and I had no idea how he was telling what was going on. So pay attention to the flight of your disc. Whatever way it's angled or facing, it typically means that you're doing something with your body or your arm or your wrist or your hand in some way or another. And the more you throw, the more you'll start to find out what is causing those issues. So if you're in a meet and it's flying a certain way, then you can make that adjustment, whether you've got a coach there or not, or if you don't even have a coach in high school really, then you can make the adjustment yourself. All right, moving on to reverse stand throws, I want to try to think about the same thing. It's my regular stand throw, nice tall posture, good block, turning through it. The only difference is now I'm just getting a little bit extra into it and doing the reverse on the finish. So try to do that. The reverse is really where I start to want to shift, because by shifting my weight onto my right foot, it's easier to jump and reverse. So I need to find that shift in weight by turning my hips all the way into it and then hitting the reverse that way. It's kind of hard to explain, but I'll try to do it. Hopefully I can continue to do that, because that's one of the big things I want to work on today. Let's get into it. Felt a little shifty. Again, I just feel the first movement like here, rather than turning through it. It's really hard on a stand throw to hit some of those positions because you've got no momentum going in any direction, so you've got to be super strict, hit your positions in order to do it well. Just got to find it. I feel decent. It feels like slightly shifty, but a lot better than what I was doing before, and the disc is flying nice. Got a nice like parabola on it, so it's kind of what I'm going for. Just gonna continue to work that. It'll help a lot when I got Martin to continue to keep an eye, because it's kind of hard to go back and forth watching the videos on the camera as I record them. All right, I'm gonna do one set of half turns, thinking about the same thing. A little bit easier with the half turn because you've got some momentum already going into the stand throw. But I need to hit that block, turn through it, keep my body position tall, and then finish nice and level and flat. currently trying to get a hold of Martin on FaceTime so he can watch some throws, but since he's busy right now, I guess, he said he was available to 3, and it's a little bit before 3. Anyway, I can do a set of fulls now. Same exact thought process, out of the back. I need to keep my hips underneath me, hip stall. Ooh, actually, here's Martin calling.
Hey.
Hey, what's going on?
Can you hear me?
I can.
All right.
Can you see the ring and everything fine?
I see it well, yeah. I see
Okay.
it really well. Okay. Okay. That's not bad.
Yeah, I think I'm jumping to the middle a bit because I stepped on the edge of the ring.
No, it wasn't bad.
Yeah, I just was thinking tall out of the back, and then I reversed. So.
Yeah, no, you didn't jump, but what you did at the end, you jumped. You know, you didn't quite turn.
Okay.
Good. Yeah.
I just need to like finish it more. It's going a bit to the left sector,
Okay.
so I think I'm not finishing all the way, but.
Your left was in the middle, and your right was a little bit to the right, so you're perfect for.
Okay. Just feeling good. Just got to keep working all the way through. It's going down the left sector line, which means I'm not finishing all the way through the throw, but I'll take it. All right, just talk with Martin a little bit. I don't know how much of that conversation I will put in here because you could hear him a bit on the mic. I had my phone tucked between the mic and the lens of the camera. It still looks a little bit shifty on my finish, which I don't think it's so bad as long as I'm getting a good block and turning through it. I think I'm letting the disc drop, and then I'm trying to get it up on the finish, so I'm not able to turn through all the way. So keep the disc nice and tall with my shoulders throughout the whole throw, so that way I can actually work it around. Went more down the middle. I think the disc was taller throughout the throw. It just felt like I shifted a bit more on that one. So disc tall, finish all the way through with a good block, with a good turn. Whew, so many cues to think about. Let's do it. Whew, all right, well, my camera died at the end of practice, so I didn't get my last couple sets of fulls, but I think this is gonna be a pretty long video anyway. I was talking a lot throughout it. Overall, feeling pretty good. Definitely like working on that position, trying to be more rotational in the finish and not shift my hips as much. I think that's got a lot more upside, so just need to continue to grind that, find that feeling again, and excited for what's to come. I got plenty of time now until my next meet. I think my next meet will be Canadian Nationals, and I don't remember the exact date on those, but I'm gonna head to Europe for a little bit in a couple weeks. I'll be there for a few weeks, go to Canadian Nationals, then go back to Europe and continue to train, and the objective is to peak for October because that's when qualifying for World starts. So overall, I got plenty of time. I'm just gonna keep grinding. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. If you really enjoyed it, subscribe for more, and I'll be back very soon with another video. Take it easy, guys.